I used to sell crack in the trap. Now I make music at least 5,000 a track. Schedules connect just in the show. I go in my cocoon and reinvent myself. I used to watch your back, to roll out the dagger. I move too fast, coming up the ladder. Breathing the game when I'm destined to change it. I made it, now I'm blessed for the next generation. I see blue angels flying in the sky, and I'm reaching high. We keep on winning. I'm living my expectation.
Hello, hello, test, test, test. Testing your mic. All is well.
For my young people, rebuild our soul.
Hello, test. Microphone check. 1, 2, 1, 2. What's up? Slow day, human What's going on? How are you? You with us? Welcome, how are you? Yo, Ronald, your boy, our beloved Shane was supposed to be here. He asked me to do this with him. So I don't know. I hope everything is okay with him. I know you're on the island with him, so I'm kind of worried about him. We're moving without him. You see what I mean? But we're gonna do it with or without him. But I'm still worried that he's okay because I haven't heard from him because he chose the date and the time, and I agreed with it. You see what I mean? But still, it's not. He cannot make it. That was his chosen time. So I know, he's a man of his word, so I'm afraid that something happened or whatever. So just hopefully later on I hear that everything is okay. You see what I mean? Because we pray that he's alright. But too bad, when we cannot. We already promised that we're gonna come through, so I have to come through. It wasn't something I wanted to do, but for him, on his behalf, I wanted to just answer to his call. But on his behalf, I'm gonna make sure that to deliver for the both of us. You know what I'm saying? So we appreciate you for coming through as always, and you representing the island indeed. So we were supposed to be on YouTube or something like this, but for some reason some things, more things have to happen for something like this. We have to do more work since we tried to get there since last night. But we thought, with YouTube, we were going to be all good to go live with it. Everything is ready. But I don't know if it's because of the snowstorm outside. Maybe it's not able to deliver as we expected with YouTube. And Facebook is always there, always ready, always present, because this is our main platform or something like that. So we're gonna deliver maybe a short message somehow, like saying hi to our family or something like this, because we have not been on for a few something. We miss you guys, and always, even if you don't see us, we are still working in the background. Making everything, upgrading things and making things better, you see, for your experience, visual, audio, or something like that. So, the background music, thank you, beloved. It's pretty low, but still, the music is still hear it. So I'm gonna turn off completely then. Yeah, so, it's a new mic as well, and I'm hoping that it's delivering properly or something like this. So, I hope you get to hear me properly. It's a new mic as well. You see what I'm saying? So on my end, everything is coming out clear, but it's not about me. It's, really, me doesn't exist without you. You see, if there's me, there's no you. If there's you, there's no me. So unless there's we, then we both are or something. And this is the understanding we are getting lately. And this is why we realize that we literally have to drop the ego and then move on with that state of mind. Otherwise, we are already self-defeated. You see what I'm saying? So, what is the message? Because really, I expected. So let me come through anyway, because I don't want to leave Brother Ronald. And I thank him for coming through, and his spirit is something that we enjoy and stuff like this. And we thank the universe, Great Mother, for bringing us together. You see, it was the background music. I can't hear you. All right. So yes, I'm gonna do that. I did do it, but for some reason there's reverberation or something like this through reverberation through the thingy. One second, I'm working on it. Alright, don't worry. Thank you for your feedback, beloved. We couldn't do this without you. Yeah, let me lower that one. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
You know what a net thing is?
Which net?
Like where you can take the juice off the soda from the stick.
Oh, it's one of the things. Yes, I hope this is better. Yeah, how is it now, Ronald? Let me know if it's better now. I'm trying to see. I do have the headphone with the chat. Hold on one second. Maybe I do not need to have two different ones because having two different ones open, it's better now. Eh? I see the heart. So we thank you, beloved. You are the best. We thank the universe for you. Because when you have the will with you, that's why I keep telling the leaders of today. I understand that the game, there's more to the game than what we see at times. The best way to go about it is a balance. Thank you, beloved. You say good to go. So we know that yes, it is a balance. We see there is the spiritual aspect of things and the physical aspect of things, and the ratio to that is let's say 95 to 5. 95% spiritual, 5% physical, and even then we are being very modest with the numbers or something like this, just to let us understand. So the thing is like basically it's just it's literally somehow we tell the brothers, you see, and the sisters that we are among us, leading the way. Anyway, we always know that there's learning is unending, is ever ending. So any ego that would believe that okay, I have nothing else to learn, then you have you in for a surprise. So literally we depend on one another to make this a perfect journey. If we think we separate, oh fuck everybody and whatever, then we're in trouble from the get-go. Because the thing is like since we understand the ratio is 95 to 5, then we literally have to make sure we understand how much we are putting of our intention into the outcome of things or in the input of things, so that we don't create an imbalance into the input or something like that, and thereby also in the output. What I mean by that is it's just literally it is about the numbers. That's why they will call the people that speak the highest truth, they will call them the snake tongue or the fork tongue or something like this. But in reality, it's not something for us to see as evil, good, bad, and something like this, because sometimes you just don't have a choice. Because the reality is of a dual nature. Of course, if you are speaking about anything using language itself to speak on something spiritual, it's gonna end up having the fork tongue effect to it. But we all understand this. I mean, we get the fact, the knowledge, the data, the gnosis of it. But the understanding is that we're not to see it as something bad, you see? Because the fork tongue is the one that would say, oh, it's not about the numbers today, and then tomorrow comes to say that it is about the numbers. And this is why most of the time we try to use this new type of language, we call it the quantum language, that we come together about, so that we can bring, the awareness and the understanding to anyone listening, regardless of their level of understanding. And this is why we cannot help it but making the live You see, mostly 3 hours, this, that, because sometimes we have to repeat the same thing 1,500 times, different ways. You see what I mean? Because it's you can't help but doing that. You see, because when we come and do a short message, of some spiritual nature, then we may create more problem than there was already. That's why it's either you have the time and create the time to do this, or you don't do it at all. You see what I mean? And then first you gotta understand why you're doing this, and then making sure that, okay, I'm doing this for the spiritual and upliftment of humanity, which is my purpose in reality, in the reality. But at the same time, I cannot depend on the people to support me doing this, because they cannot support something that they're not yet able to understand. So before we can bring understanding to them, we literally have to put in the efforts, putting the time, putting the everything that is, from our own selves, helping them level up to the truth that you are trying to bring about. But in the beginning was the word, meaning you're gonna need the truth, you're gonna need the word before you can create the world that you are trying to experience. You see what I mean? Many of us will, we so want to survive. We want to make everything about the dollar. Indeed, we get it. That's the effect of the forked tongue. We get it. We understand the level you're coming from. It is from the God brain. It is from survival. You cannot see beyond this. That's what it is. We cannot help you. We cannot force you to see it any other way, except that we're gonna have to use you from where you are. You see what I mean? So, and from then, doesn't mean that's all there is to the being. We know there's more to the being than just survival. So we're gonna have to deal with patience, love, compassion, and all of these things. Understand where they are, and then bring it to them regardless. Because the best people among us on Facebook is the one that shared that statement that says, you can never underestimate the power of planting a seed. You see? And many times I come from giving up. When I say giving up, I'm not gonna give up on myself. Self is perfectly rooted, of course, but the thing, meaning giving up on the purpose. You see what I mean? Like on focusing on the purpose and focusing on like, following everybody. Just being a copy of like everybody. Because it's not wrong to be a copy. You see what I mean? So long as, is it something good that you're copying? Or is it something stupid? You see what I mean? Like there's many people, like the sister, shout out to her, who invited me to this seminar recently about a course or something like this. Sister Danielle or something. She's a force to reckon with. The sister she knows what she's doing. She's a powerful force indeed. And when she speaks, the way she tell you things, you literally gonna. You see, I mean, you have to follow up, because she deliver immaculately. You see what I'm saying? So people like this, it's okay to follow them. You see, it's okay to just, because all they're doing is replicating something that has worked for them. You see what I mean? So when I say giving up, it doesn't mean I'm gonna give up on myself. Of course, I know the universe is always gonna give you every window. That's why we said we're changing the codes now for the new time. We said, instead of saying the eyes are a window to the soul, let us say a mirror to the soul. We understand that many of the beings that come across us, that the universe bring about to our vicinity, are literally mirroring who we are and what we need to be. Every aspect, in different parts of self or something like this. When I see a sister like Danielle, I see myself. I see the mirror effect. You see what I mean? And I'm not gonna just reject. Okay, I focus on what I know, what I need to do, whatever. No, she called me to come to a seminar. I'm gonna go, because this is self-inviting self. You see what I mean? But the thing is, like, when I do take the invitation, then I have to make sure. You see, I mean, the way I follow up may not be the way she expected me to, or something like this, because where I'm at is more than self-survival. You see what I mean? But I do understand the game also has about a few fraction aspect of self-survival to it, because it has a fraction of, because the spirit is infinite. The spirit has not interfered. The spirit has nothing bigger than it. You see what I mean? Everything spring from spirit, not the other way around. So really, when you come from spirit, there's nothing really to worry about. You see what I mean? If you fail this time and then you just gotta come back a billion times more and then just do it because it's fun anyway. Just like playing a video game. You see what I mean? So I get what it is. So that's why, that's the vulnerability. You're never really comfortable like you think, because life or the matrix, it's not as hard, you know, sprung as we think. You see, it's like a watery effect. How can you ever be stable on water? You see, I mean, for those who understand, like especially the Moors, would know, like, you know, masters of the seven seas or something like this, they understand how you can never feel too stabilized on the water. You see what I mean? You never know where the storm is gonna come from. You see what I'm saying? So that's the same thing we can do, we can do with life. It's never really comfortable. That's why it's really not for the meek of heart at all. You see, life is something you cannot be weak at all. You will be destroying yourself. You have to learn to be strong from a heart perspective and mind perspective, of course, all the minds. Or you learn from the strong ones one way or another, which is when something that I share, like when the sister Danielle was asking, what is the title of your course? Everybody was saying the titles, but mine couldn't be none other than living from a heart perspective. You see what I mean? So that's if I were to come out with a course, this is the title, because this is where I see humanity is failing. And this is the main thing that we need to learn from. You see, we have strong minds indeed. We are very strong at mind. Especially in the time of knowledge, you see, age of knowledge, the mind becomes stronger. But the mind is the ego or something like this. It's the tool of the ego or something. So the thing is, like, we cannot really depend on it, because it's literally, you know, the projector of the illusion. You see? So when we are strong in illusion, then how strong are we in reality? You see what I mean? So that's what it is. So now that the world is becoming less illusion and more reality, then now we have to really focus on the generator of the reality, not the projector itself, but the generator. And the generator is the heart. So we have to now focus on strengthening the heart as much as we put energy towards strengthening that mind or the projector. You see what I'm saying? So this is why that course is something that's very needed. That if specifically if we even understand this, everything else will fall into place. You see, many courses that we find ourselves needing to pay for, we may not need to pay for them anymore, because the generator is healthy, is strong and ready to go. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, that's why I don't reject the call when I listen to my ego saying, you don't need them, you don't need this, you don't need that, you know what you're doing, you see what I mean? That's why we always have to teach one another and learn from myself and others that ego is the worst of master. You see what I mean? Because my ego would tell me, I don't need Daniel's course, I don't need this, I don't need that. You see what I mean? But in reality, spirit will know that you need everything. You see, our job is not to reject anything, except that to accept whatever and make the best use of them. And if something cannot bring the power we need, be the alchemist and then transform it into something valuable. You see what I'm saying? That's why it's not really about the tools, it's about the one using the tool most of the time. You see what I'm saying? Or all the time, for that matter. So the thing is, like, basically it's just what it is. We have to put the time, you know what I mean, to level the people's mind up. Because one thing we have to understand, that's what I'm gonna make the live about today, or that's why I'm already making it about, is that, you see, it's just when you see like, let's say the brother that come, and then you have to continue, answer to the call, do whatever you planned out to do in the first place. You see what I'm saying? So now, what is in the mind? Why you focus on something that is needed already, something that's already in the heart? Because the heart always holds heavy when there's something to be done in the reality. And what it is understanding that this is the age of knowledge. That means we can't expect knowledge not to be rampant, not to be everywhere. So when knowledge is everywhere, it doesn't mean it's a solution. You see what I mean? The solution may be within the knowledge, but it is in the understanding of the knowledge. Meaning, just because it's the edge of knowledge doesn't mean knowledge is not gonna have two aspects to it like everything else. It's gonna hold the solution and it as well as the problem. You see? So now it's not about knowledge itself, it's about who's holding the knowledge now. Can they bring solution with that knowledge, or are they gonna cause further division or further problem with that knowledge? You see what I'm saying? So this is why now we have to make this about using the power properly, you see, which is knowledge. Because most of the people that are supposed to be followers in the reality, the many, the large numbers, so it's nothing about good or bad, like I'm better than or whatever. It's not how to see it, it's just the way reality works. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, there's gonna be the numbers that cannot think beyond what they are told or something like that. So those that hold the understanding, they literally have a greater input or greater work to do than the followers. You see what I mean? And this is why we focus on the givers or on the ones with the understanding. So you see what I mean? Like the leaders among them or something like that, because they are more powerful. You see what I mean? Once you reach one leader, you may reach billions of followers that they have in their pockets. You see what I'm saying? So there's always a way to go about things without wasting time and without, like wasting energy and resources and things like this. So you just gotta do things from the heart. You see, once you are moving with love, you can never fail. You see what I mean? People will fail themselves, but love never fails anyone. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, basically is just 1 second, the page is unresponsive, whatever, blah blah blah, but I hope I'm going on. So the thing is, like, somehow we realize, once we know, okay, the age of knowledge, we realize, okay, there's gonna be a problem with that or something. You see, a lot of people would say, oh, certain people, they have a problem for every solution. You bet your ass there's always a problem with every solution. It's just the way things work, you see what I mean? So you cannot just be playing yourselves thinking that, okay, the solution is here, let me go sleep now and enjoy. Nah. You see, there's always gonna be a different aspect to things. You see what I mean? Like, okay, it's something else to focus on, to worry about. You don't focus on the problem to the degree where you forget the solution, because whatever you focus on multiply. And this is why you see we have to be careful with what we are bringing about. Like, when you see the people in music, specifically rap and hip hop music, they always would have this excuse saying that, oh, we only speak about the problem in the hood. But what they do, they end up, you see, yes, a few of them, are maybe cashing in, but at the same time, they are multiplying this problem. You see what I'm saying? That's why you have to put as much energy, if not more, towards the solution as you are putting towards the problem as well. You see? So the thing is, like, we focus somehow, like, for as much as we can on the problem that's gonna be with knowledge, you see? Because when we realize, okay, age of knowledge, meaning everybody's gonna know something. Everybody's gonna get downloads, whether from the ethers or from the Akash, or from YouTube, or from Facebook, or from synthetic grades or organic grades. Knowledge is gonna be everywhere. So that's a problem, you see, because with abundance comes certain problems as well. Just like you see, we put it to the front of our minds that with the abundance of food now come what? Obesity and heart disease and all of these things. Because once you are creating based on survival mode, you see what I mean, you're always gonna bring more problem than you bring solution. But if you are coming from your God self and you're from your higher self with solution, the problem will be less and less, to the point of no problem at all. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, basically we couldn't keep on making the same, making the same mistakes over and over. So we have to learn from the past, learn from the history, so that we can be better this time around. So what I did is that we thought, and this is the way we started coming with this platform, with the first knowledge, or the first thing we shared was difference between knowledge and wisdom. And that's what it was about, because before we came out, we made sure to understand the reality fully. We didn't want to be like everyone, jumping, trying to look for the dollar or whatever. So we focused on what at stake. And then once we realize what it is and we fully hold the solution and we understand the time, we get it, then we come out. But of course, you're never perfect. You're going to learn as you go, even from the mistakes of those who are doing the same work as you around or something like this. We have to learn. We have to be a sponge at learning. We have to love to learn more than we love to speak. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, basically, we realize, okay, there's going to be a problem. So and I'm pretty sure you don't need me to tell you that by now. You see what I'm saying? So what it is, Ronald, is that we realize, okay, everybody's going to stop talking. And YouTube creators, they try to do their part. You see what I mean? By bringing a platform free for all. You see what I mean? But there's nothing free in reality. That's why we say we are the money. Because they say free because we don't need your miserable dollar. We'll give you dollar if you want. We just need you because you are the money. And this is what we are teaching as well. You see what I mean? Because they get it. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, the reason they are ahead is because they're thinking to bring solutions. They create the platforms and they're not worried about taking dollars out of the people that are bringing the solution, helping bring the solution, because everybody have a part to do in this. You see what I'm saying? But at the same time, they have to survive. You see, bring the balance in things. But just because they focus on a better humanity, a better experience for all, then now they're cashing into the point where they are turning millionaires more than the real estate game out there. They are creating more millionaires than the real estate game that used to bring more millionaires than ever. You see what I mean? That's the power of thinking beyond survival. You see what I'm saying? So I cannot just say YouTube. I can also say Facebook. I don't know if Facebook create more millionaires, but I know Facebook create millionaires maybe through its stock games or something like this. But YouTube not only creates millionaires through the stock games, also as the creators and the content creators. You see, I mean, they literally take great care of their content creators, and we really shout them out for that. You see what I mean? Because it's not a work of one, it's a work of the many. It's together. You see what I'm saying? And they get it. Of course, it's not gonna always be perfect. That's why we can't blame them, except that we have to see where things need some work, and then that's why they are always open to suggestions and critics and stuff like this or whatever. And then whenever somebody criticize them, they make sure they're not really in their pennies all the time crying about it. They find solution and they listen, they learn, and then they validate. Like Will Smith would say, love, L-U-V, listen, understand, validate, and then they bring the solution. You see what I mean? And this is why most of the time we will ask ourselves, who is really the problem on this planet? You see what I mean? Is it really the 1% or is it the 99%? You see what I'm saying? But I understand there may be problems between the two, but who's creating the most problems? You see what I mean? That's where the thing is. But the 99% will always want us to say it's the 1%, and the 1% will always want us to say it's the 99%. But where we come in is not pleasing either side. Is being the scale, is being the scale to show where the most is coming. If it's both sides or something like this, and which one bring more solution, which one will bring more problem or something like this, and then we will always go. Since we cannot expect perfection, then we're gonna go with the best among them all, with the lesser evil or something like this, meaning the one that's bringing the less problem or something. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about pleasing anyone, pleasing monkeys, pleasing this, pleasing that. You can never please a monkey. You see what I mean? Because self is all in self. So we already learned that from ourselves. So if we cannot please ourselves as little monkeys ourselves, why would we even waste energy on trying to please monkeys outside of ourselves? The best we can do is try to help them understand things from a mature point of view, like we have done ourselves. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that we keep on seeing solutions coming from the 1% or something like this, and more problems coming from the 99%. So we will not help the 99% level up if we keep on giving them soft pillows to sleep on, and as they sleep they create more problems and stuff like this. The best we can do is mirror the problems to them, so because they may not learn from our words, but when we act like they do at times, though it's heavy at our heart because we hate acting like monkeys, but the best we can do sometimes is mirror it, you see, because at least when they see it, of course they're gonna, instead of take it in, they're gonna, of course, repel it, because they just hate themselves, they're repelling themselves, but they're not gonna accept it as it is themselves. But we always have, that's why we have to come up and say, yeah, we can only mirror it. This is you. If you hate it, you're hating yourself. You see what I mean? Because only truth heals. You see what I mean? That's why most of the time I could expect many people to come live and listen to me. And it's best for me, because when you were Penny as a man, I can expect you to be on a level, a mature level, to come in my face and then create a problem for me, and your energy is gonna disturb my energy, and then I cannot bring the solution the way I'm supposed to. That's why they do us a service. That's why I tell people it cannot be about the numbers, because if it's about the numbers, then people is gonna come and you're gonna care about how they feel and how they respond and whatever. You're gonna have to waste time blocking, do this. No, I just don't give a fuck about the numbers at all, and I want a clean broadcast. I want a clean message and stuff like this, something that's gonna really validate within their hearts, and something that's really gonna help us level up and help us become the solutions, as we are already being the problems to the planet, or something like that. So that's why when you see the universe bring me Ronald, I thank the universe, because look how free-flowing I am. Because Ronald, though he acts crazy like a monkey most of the time, just like myself. You know what I mean? But that's him coping with monkeys. You see what I mean? Mirroring to the monkeys. I laugh, he makes me laugh, and I love him, and I thank the universe for that. Then he is here with me, and this is the only one that is able to be here. You see what I'm saying? At least directly. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, like, because you can't expect people that are not able to take the message to come and help the message. They're really gonna cause a problem to you, and an obstacle on the growth of everyone around them. You see what I mean? The thing is, like, you have to stop thinking on survival level and think as a god, and think as you are everything, and think really, don't just say it, but act like it. You see what I mean? And don't feel bad like when there's no. You have to understand blessings when it comes to you. One being may equal 1,000,000. You see what I mean? Or 1,000,000,000, or even more. You see what I mean? Where 1,000,000,000 followers may not even equal to one full mature being. You see what I mean? So that's what we have to understand these days. We literally have to re-evaluate the reality now. Of course, the synthetic matrix is gonna go with the numbers, because it is synthetic. We have to, do things, and that's why, we create different type of platforms. Certain platforms of, we are creating right now as we speak. It's gonna come, and everybody will feel comfortable to follow and be there, and whatever it is, this and that, and they will not worry about getting hurt and stuff like this, until they mature. But this and that, to the point where, just like Facebook, just like YouTube, they are able to listen to the comments and to the critics and take it as men and women. You see what I mean? With full maturity, and process it, you see, and validate it, and then do about it, or something like this. You see what I mean? But it takes work, you see, and that work start not with building blocks. So let's build a school and whatever. No, that's too slow moving. You see what I mean? The thing is that you just speak the word in the ethers. That's all it takes. It's beyond blocks and what material situation or something like this. We're not saying you should not build schools, do whatever you do whatever the fuck you gotta do. You see what I mean? Whatever your mind tells you, that whatever it is, you see what I mean? Do it. You see, the best you can. Do not listen to anyone, not even me. Do as you need to do, because everybody is only thinking on their level, and whatever solution they bring is whatever their level is telling them to be. You best believe there's a level for that solution. You see what I mean? But there is solution with a small s, there's solution with a big S. You see what I'm saying? That's what the reality is multifaceted. You see what I'm saying? We have to understand these things, thinking quantum thoughts these days. You see, I mean, we're always thinking quantum thoughts, but process those thinking in quantum processing. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. So the thing is like, basically, is like, you see, of course, most of the time, the people that you are trying to help, they are gonna be the problem for you. I was told that already by very mature beings in the reality, people that are that like the great people that people worship out there. You see, they already indirectly reach out to me telling me, yo, the same people you trying to help, you care about, they're the same one that's gonna pose a threat to you, that's gonna wanna disrespect you because they always wanna act like they know whatever, blah 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 blah. But it's something obvious to me. I expect that. But the thing is, like, it's just, at some point we have to level up. We have to, be stronger than they are, because when they coming at you with disrespect, that is the weak one's way, to act out. You see what I mean? That's how weak people act. They know they don't have the proper words, the way to express themselves. So now it's just like a small animal. When you corner them in a corner and they have no way to go, of course they're gonna start acting violent. The reality is in your face all the time to teach you who's who. You see what I mean? Who's strong, who's weak, who's this, who's that. The worst that can happen in that is when those that are meant to be strong acting like the monkey, or those weak ones, or learning from the weak ones as to how to behave in the reality. You see what I'm saying? That's a problem in itself. You see what I'm saying? And this is why we say we focus on the masters among us, you see? And when we say we focus on the masters among us, doesn't mean we don't learn from them. The only reason we focus on them is because of what we have learned so far from them. You see what I mean? That's what you have to understand. The same one that comes to teach is the same one also that has been the best student among us. You see what I'm saying? It's not one or the other. You see? It's both exist within the same being. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, I'm speaking this way, most of the time you see me jumping around, is because I cannot help but speaking straight to the ego itself. You see what I mean? Because I'm trying to make appealing mastery appealing to the ego. You see? Because a lot of us literally took the ego to this level that we are today. And this is why we are still struggling. This is why we are still confused. This is why we are still hating. This is why we are, you see what I mean? All of the, egoistic energies and things like this. You see what I mean? And aspects of the ego or something. Because we said already, or we know, that we shouldn't have brought the ego to that level, because this is beyond the ego right now. Ego may be here, of course, but ego can only be here and serve only if there's a mastery within the being, or something like this. If there's mastery within, then ego is not gonna pose a threat, no problem to anything, because ego knows its place at this point. You see what I mean? That's why when we say kill the ego, we don't mean kill because we're literally saying commit suicide, because the ego is the body itself that we are experiencing taste, smell, feel, and all of that. You see what I mean? So when we say kill the ego, it is metaphorically we are saying tame it in a way. You see what I mean? Meaning he has to be absorbed by the master within. You see what I mean? The spirit or something like this. He has to know its place or something, because spirit knows its place, but ego needs to taught its place. You see what I mean? It needs to be taught its place or something like that. So that's what we are trying to say when we say kill the ego. But we clarify this because we understand that many people among us, maybe even on mastery level, when we speak using language, we may cause confusion with them, and then we may even cause them to not trust our words with the language. That's why we have to be very careful when we speak or something like this, because when we say kill the ego, depending on the books they are reading, on the people they are following for as teachers for the time being, they may be getting something different that may not be in alignment with that statement. Kill the ego. They may understand, you don't understand anything, because how could you kill the ego? Because the ego is this, the ego is blah 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 blah. But we at this level, we just want to make sure we understand, and this is why I say we can only speak to masters. We have to understand that we mostly speak in codes most of the time. So if you're not in the understanding that coding is the way we speak, then ask question. That's why we always say not to step on toes or make you feel small or whatever, But when we say that, okay, just because you speak English doesn't mean you understand the words that comes out of our mouth. We only mean that many people know the Bible, they can recite it, many pastors can recite the Bible from the beginning to the end, yet they don't understand anything that the Bible is saying, obviously. You see what I'm saying? And the same in Islam as well. Even in the Quran itself, Allah Ta'ala said that, you see, many people will recite the Quran beautifully from cover to cover, yet the knowledge or the understanding of the Quran does not even reach beyond their noses. You see what I mean? It's just giving you the solution not to trust people just because they are reciting the Quran beautifully to you, trusting their teaching as though they understand what they are reciting. You see what I mean? Because when you are dealing with ego will come at you. So long as it can be beautiful, ego is satisfied. The ego doesn't care. Because once it's beautiful, people's gonna worship ego because it's beautiful reciting, and then ego will be satisfied. Because it doesn't take much to satisfy ego, except so long as it's getting self-gratification and worship and this and that or something like that. You see what I mean? But when it comes to materialistic things, you can never satisfy ego. You see what I mean? That's the thing we have to understand about ourselves. So the thing is like, most of the time I cannot help but stepping on certain toes, hurting certain feelings and stuff like this. But it's not that we do that, but it's just people being at the wrong place at the wrong time. You see, someone who's speaking to masters, because only masters can understand where it's coming from or she coming from, but they are there by mistake due to the interrelation between synthetic algorithm and organic algorithm, if you catch my drift. You see what I'm saying? Many people, just like even the Islamic literature says that, even foreseen that many people will make it to heaven, not because they earn the heaven, but by association. You see what I'm saying? That's what we have to understand. These things happen because you were in somebody, let's take Savon for instance. Savon, a master among us, right? So someone I learned from, one of the people I follow, one of the people I learned from, or something like this, right? So what happened is that if you by mistake or the money in your pocket bring you to Savon's house, and then Savon is somehow talking or listening to something that is of a high nature, you gather the knowledge as the ego is able to download the knowledge just like everybody else. So now you get that knowledge, and then you just because you are there in association with Savon, then that's gonna take you to a certain level, or people are gonna see you with Savon, they trust Savon so much and love Savon, then they're gonna literally assume that you're on Savon's level, and then now start following you, thinking you someone that is on level and whatever this and that, and then you mislead them for some reason 10 years down the line, and then they blame Savon or whatever happens or something like this. You see, but best of us will not blame Savon because we understand association happens or something like this. You see what I mean? So what it is like now problem happens. You see what I mean? Because numbers and all of these things or whatever. You see what I mean? But we can help it, and this is why when we say, okay, we are firm in ourselves, that there's no mistake, we are mistaken by thinking that. You see what I mean? Because you can help but making mistakes. You cannot help but being vulnerable. You see, the best you can do is turn these vulnerabilities into your strength instead of running away from them. You see what I mean? That's what we gotta do. You see, the thing is like you can. Why? Because it's not that you are vulnerable yourself, but the reality, the fabric of reality itself that caused you to depend on one another or something like this. And knowing that not everyone is gonna be on your level, then every one of them that is not on your level is an open wound to your body, if you catch my drift. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like basically you have to literally be the one with all the eyes to see for all of them. Be the mind that think for all of them. Be the heart that feels for all of them. Meaning every time you come, you speak from the heart, they have to feel you. You have to be teaching them from all aspects or something like this. Otherwise, you are going to really be too vulnerable and thinking that you're not. You see what I'm saying? But with the aspect of the synthetic, then it brings the vulnerability back to you, even if spiritually you are strong. But having to survive at the same time, having to pay attention to the numbers and things like this, and working with YouTube and doing this work and based on money and revenues and things like this is weakness. You see what I'm saying? So now you're gonna have to associate with certain people that may not be on the level. I don't know if you're with me or something like this, but I'm doing my best or something. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, and this is why, you see, we cannot help hurting somebody, but the best we can tell you is that we don't mean to. It's just how you taking it. Because most of the time, just like you see, I work with dogs at times, right? So there's one little dog I'm training or something like this, but it's a famous dog, right? It's known, it's been a catalog dog or something like that. So now it's getting older and he has certain sickness, you know, like the human being, because they are on the planet with us sharing. So they share our disease as they share our beautiful parts of the planet. So what it is, it's like it's very bitter, you see. So now it can bite you at time when you are working with it. But me, I love dogs and I work with compassion. You see what I'm saying? So I'm very compassionate towards the dog, understanding and stuff like this. But I cannot help knowing that he may bite me at times, she may bite me at times or something like that. You see what I mean? And most of the time when you're trying to take her out and, you know, have a walk with her and have fun with her and stuff like this, she's pulling back, and there's the lesson in that. Most of the times, and now as she's pulling back when I'm trying to pull her, then she's choking herself with the leash or something like this. Am I choking her, or is she choking herself? You see what I'm saying? So that's what we do to ourselves most of the time. When love comes to you and compassion comes and trying to, you know, give you what you need in order to level up and stuff like this, and then you are trying to fight it, you are literally being that dog who's pulling back on the leash, thereby causing yourself to be choked. But who's choking who? You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. That's why last time when we keep saying, oh, tough love, I understand now that I'm one of the leaders in leading in love and from the heart or something like this. Now I understand that it is not love that is tough. It is us fighting love that is causing the toughness. You see what I mean? It's not love that comes tough. Love is neither tough nor soft. Love just is love. You see what I'm saying? So what it is listening. You see, attention, listening, understanding, validating. You see, that is basically love, and we thank Will Smith for that. You see what I mean? Because he put the words towards put the understanding or towards the word or something like this. Because there's no other way. Everybody wanna explain what love is, but how could we? Something so powerful, you see. But at least he found a way to bring it, you know, by doing an acronym, you know what I mean, and decoding the word or something like this. And, you know, it's powerful. And that's why I can't help, you know, I'm so happy now. He literally gave me 100 years ahead of or something with just that. You see what I'm saying? That's the power of thinking beyond survival, because, of course, Will Smith is not trying to survive right now. So his solutions are quantum nature. So what it is like basically, it's just like, you see, it's just, am I choking the little dog, or is the dog choking itself by trying to pull me back or something like this when it can't even pull me back? And it's the perfect example. That's why when you go with life and you do not as people expect you, and that's not something that make them comfortable, but you do as spirit tells you, then everything you do now becomes part of the solution. Because you are not acting, but you're just being. You see what I mean? You're not pleasing, you're not doing all of this, you're just being. You see? So now everything you do now becomes part of the solution. Now everything that you are doing now can be taken as a perfect example to what you need to teach or what you need to share or something like this. And it is a perfect example. That's what we do. Most of the time when people come back at me like tough and this and that, I could say fuck you and then go my way, just like Prophet Moses did. Fuck you niggas. You see what I'm saying? He was one of the prophets who was quick to say fuck you. You see what I mean? He will even choke an angel. Fuck you, angel, and then choke the shit out of that angel, if you know the story of Moses or something like that. You see what I mean? Not all prophets were soft. Jesus himself wasn't a soft one. You see what I mean? So the thing is like basically it's not their fault though. Sometimes they just gotta mirror the people to the people. It's like, yo, you think I'm afraid of you? You think just because I'm kind to you, you think I'm afraid of you? Fuck you, nigga. And then after you the one that feel bad because the reason they were acting all tough is because they are soft from the get-go. Just like we said all the time, the turtle. You see what I mean? The turtle create that hard-ass shell around it is because it knows itself. You see what I mean? So when you see people coming with that shield like of curse words and of trying to hurt your feelings and they're just trying to protect their soft selves. That's why the best you can do is be compassionate towards them, understanding towards them. Let them think they hurt you if need be. Because in reality, if you're not hurt, what's the point, of showing others, look, I'm not gonna let them hurt me. No, hurt me if you need to. You see what I mean? Because in reality, you can't even reach me. You see what I mean? Like my heart is protected. You see what I'm saying? That's what we have to do with ourselves. We have to shield our hearts. We have to protect our hearts. You see what I'm saying? And we're not gonna do that by acting like the monkeys themselves. You see what I mean? We're gonna do that by being compassionate towards the monkeys. You see what I'm saying? Or something like this. And when I say monkey, I'm not trying to disrespect them because what do you mean? All itself. You see what I'm saying? The only difference is in the coding. You see what I mean? It's the same DNA coded differently. That's it. That's why I see the black community acting like, oh, I'm better, black power. But they don't understand that it's just, you're not coming from yourself. You are just regurgitating the same white power thing, changing the codes. That's all. You see what I mean? You're not being anything new. You're just flip-flopping. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So the thing is like basically, it's not about coming to the white folks and regurgitating what they have done to you. Now you should have been strong as the fathers and mothers of civilization and always be compassionate towards children and understand where they're coming from, understand the way the ego works, because within you also is another ego, and then come back at them with compassion and understanding and validate what they are feeling, and then level up with them and then allow them to understand where you're coming from. But with the same amount of hate, you're only gonna multiply the hate, and you can never win with ego, because ego, this is the turf of ego. You see what I'm saying? This is the ego's turf. You cannot win the fight against ego on ego's turf. Just like the snake, if the ego is fighting the snake, the ego cannot expect to win over the snake by fighting on the ground. You have to literally pick that snake up to the highest heights, you see, and fight it there. You see what I'm saying? That's the thing. Like, you always coming with solution. You want people to listen with to your solution, but the ones with the eyes open and the hearts vibrating properly with the reality can't help but seeing the half-ass solution you're bringing about. You see what I'm saying? We cannot be that stupid to just take it as the solution with the big S. You see what I'm saying? It's not about our feelings. We're not trying to look better than you, be better than you, or whatever. The best we have to do is just like being the ones on the level you can understand. Let's say we have money to start a great corporation, and the best among us are the ones who knows, okay, I never know any, I win the lottery today, I never take any business class, I never run a business before. The best I can do is to afford a good college student from the best college that I can afford, from what you call it, Harvard, Georgetown, whatever university. You see what I mean? Because that's the thing. It's not about, okay, I went to Harvard, nigga. No, it's because the ones that went to Harvard are supposed to come to work for the ones with the mind. That's it. While you go work, that's the thing. We have to start understanding things properly. You see what I mean? So you were a bum that used to, let's say you were, let's not say a bum or something like this, but using your own term, we can't help but doing that. The thing is, like, let's say you just someone that is a janitor, but you play a lot of lottery or something, and then overnight you become a millionaire, or $400 million in your account overnight. That's the reality we live in. You see what I mean? So the thing is like now, if you're a smart ones or smart janitor, then you're gonna start thinking for yourself. You're gonna be like, or hire someone with a brain better than yours to help you think. So you're gonna be like, what do I do now? I have this money and I know how it is. Life is expensive. I can lose it anytime or something like that. So what do I do? So now you're gonna wanna hire the ones to help you invest that money or help you grow that money. So you're gonna go to the ones that have the record in doing that. You see what I'm saying? So now they're gonna tell you, okay, you need someone okay, you need to start a corporation, start this, start that, and then we have Jeremy. Shout out to Jeremy on YouTube, who's doing great work, helping a lot. You see what I mean? And even there's a course I need to take from this brother, because this brother, you know, he's giving a lot of free knowledge on YouTube, and it's really not about the money. I hope the people understand what he's doing and then really support that. You see what I'm saying? So Jeremy himself or something like this will be the one to tell you what to do to invest that money. Start up a corporation, start an LLC, or do this, do that, and then, you know, put yourself on a respectable level where people will not be afraid to do business with you, where they can leverage with you, where they can have trust in your business and your movements and stuff like this. They can really work with you or something like this. Because many people want to support certain businesses, but they don't want to just invest in you without you having the proper foundations or something like this. You see what I mean? So you start with Jeremy telling you how to start your corporation, and then once you have that corporation, now you need the next brainiac, which gonna be someone coming from college, from Harvard or wherever, to be the CEO, to run that company from the ground up for you. So the best way to do that, you're not gonna come and tell him how to run it for you. You're gonna listen, learn, listen, understand what they're telling you to do with your money, and validate what you're telling you to do with your money. It's the same thing we have to do in the reality. It's not about, oh, there's a one in mouth, and then, but we cannot help but seeing the reality from ourselves, and then we think everybody is supposed to be shut the fuck up, and your spirit is only telling you the message for you to shut the fuck up. Most of the time when spirit speaks, it's not telling you come online saying, I don't know who this is for, but spirit say this, spirit. No, spirit is speaking to you first. That's how we have to, that's how I am. When spirit speaks to me, before I share it with you, I make sure I take from it first. I'm not stupid. It's just like if I win the lottery, I'm gonna make sure I save money enough for me and my family for generation. Then whatever is left over, I share with the rest of the world. That's how I move with everything. You see what I mean? The same thing too. If spirit is giving me wisdom and stuff like this, fuck you. You think I'm gonna just start by giving it to you without taking it in myself? Hey, I'm not that stupid like everyone else. So the best thing I do, I take it in first. It may take me 10 years, obviously, before I can share it with you, because I have to make sure I get it first. You see what I mean? Most of the time we have to start seeing things that way. Most of the time when spirit speaks, spirits don't give a fuck about anyone else. To spirit within you, the spirits within you don't even see the world the way you see the world. It sees itself as the only thing in existence. That's what you have to see. It's you that's dividing things with those two eyes, the physical eyes. But spirit sees things from its own perspective. You see what I'm saying? That's how you have to understand. And this is the problem that exists within you, and within ego within you, and the spirit within you. You see what I mean? You keep thinking the spirit is speaking for others. No. Spirit is not speaking from others. The only reason others may benefit is because all is self. Is because everything that you go through is the same thing everybody else is going through. You see what I mean? But you cannot help anyone else outside of you unless you take in the message in first. That's why the best example they give us, the best teaching we ever had for the time being, is if you want to change the world, you have to start by changing your own self. You see what I mean? All these teachings come together to give you the reality. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. You cannot just come and always like, I don't know who this is for. And you make me, I love the laugh. Trust me. I love to laugh at monkey stuff and thinking people, we so want to teach because this is who we are. It's not wrong. It's who we are. We are teachers. We are storytellers. It's our natural self coming out. But there's no control and there's no maturity, there's no wisdom behind the movement. You see what I mean? That's mean we just doing without knowing when. But that's why the difference between knowledge and wisdom is knowledge knows what to say, and wisdom knows when to say it, or I can add how to say it. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like basically, it's just that we have to start understanding from now on. When Spirit says something, it's not for anyone else. It's not for V. It's not for Ronald. It's not for anyone. For you first. Take it in, and then you share it with the rest of the world. And really, you most of the time you do. If the world is smart enough, you may not even need to say a word to the world. Just by being what you learn, the world is already learning. Because remember, for you to listen and trust what I'm saying to you right now, we know from the historical people out there that the Moors control or led Europe for over 800 years, right? But the architecture, the Islamic architecture that or Eastern architectures or something like this, and the literatures, all the sciences that the Moors or the Muslim Moors brought about, influenced Europe for all this time to the point where nobody even want to destroy them or except if they're monkeys or something like that. You see what I mean? They would come, they will influence the languages, they will influence the behaviors of the people, even to the point where a lot of the Eastern Europe, or whatever it is, you know, the way they move, you see, I mean, even the Italians and all of these people and stuff like this, the way they move has a lot of class in it and stuff like this, you know, whatever, because you see of these type of things, you see what I mean? That's what it is. You would influence just by being yourself. Because in the people that you are influences are the same thing that is within you that cause you to act the way you are acting. Most of the time, you see most people become Muslims even at the time of Islam 1400 years ago, not because of us putting swords in their necks or whatever it is or something like this or whatever, but only by interacting or doing mutual business with the Muslims. You see what I mean? That they see the brotherhood amongst them and stuff like this, and it was appealing to the people or something, and they see that their society is missing that, and they wanted to come and learn from the Muslims, and then the Muslims are to open universities and schools of thoughts to teach them the behavior and stuff like that. But something that already exists within them, but since they couldn't tap into it or something like this, so they needed to go outside in order to bring it in. But after they go outside, they literally have to live they have to bring the balance. They have to go take it in first. You see what I mean? That's the thing. So we have to understand every time Spirit says something, the minute that you throw it on Facebook saying that, I don't know who needs to hear this, you see what I mean? Trying to be the teacher self that we are, you see what I mean? Or something like this. So what we do now, we shut down the learning from ourselves. We did not learn from it. Someone else, as you send it, you best believe I will learn from it. Even if I can't help but seeing the mistake in your action. But I'm still going to learn from it. You see what I mean? Because the best among us is the one that can learn so much that he can even learn from a mistake. More than a fool cannot learn from a lesson. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. We have to understand that it's not about no, we need to hear this or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Okay, but no. Because once you throw it out, you threw it out. You get me? You threw it out. If you throw it out, you don't have it anymore. Understand that. You see what I mean? Because I understand, I don't want to come to you saying you show enough, because you're not showing enough. The ego may be showing off, but Spirit is not trying to show off. You see what I mean? But ego is the doer. You see what I mean? So ego, if it's the fastest one or something like this, then it's always going to take the wisdom and then do with it without understanding it or something like that. Fast. And Spirit is just like, oh shit. It's gone. You see what I mean? That's the thing. It's just, you know, when you have something and then the child just pull it out of your hand and then so fast that it's gone. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. When you throw it out and you don't learn, you really don't learn from it. You have to take it in because it's for you. You see what I mean? You take it in and then whatever, tame the teacher inside you so that it doesn't come out prematurely and then eat itself out or something or hurt itself. You see, or make a fool of itself, or the teacher self, or something like this, to the point where people don't trust the teacher in you because you keep making mistakes. People can go down your timeline and see a bunch of contradictions, and when wisdom contradicts, you don't see it the same contradiction as you will see. When wisdom contradicts, you see the problem not in the wisdom but in the language itself. But when ego contradicts, you see the problem in the teacher, not the language. If you catch my drift, you see what I mean. That's why it's not the action. It's, you see what I mean. You see what I mean. So that's the thing. So we wish that many people can come and listen and do this and do, because it is nothing but truth, nothing but power, or whatever it is. But they are not in the capacity to come directly and just like I do. I may hold the power because it takes me time to be to that level where I can come and sit in front of everyone without feeling small, without feeling like, I'm, like some type of way, like, because yes, I have the ego here, but ego is in its right place. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not afraid that nothing is gonna phase me. Like, no, I'm gonna, if Brother Ronald is teaching, I'm gonna sit. If I'm not hiding like behind the veil to come, no, I'm coming in the light and listen, because I don't want to be known as the one who knew it all. If somebody's gonna judge me, look, if he was a master, why is he sitting when Muji is speaking? Why is he sitting when Sadhguru is speaking? Why is he sitting when Ronald is speaking? Why is he sitting when Sevan is speaking? He should have been speaking on his own platform. Nah, you're judging wrong. We can never know too much. We can always learn from one another at any time, anywhere, anyhow, anytime. You see what I mean? That's what it is. So the minute that you feel too big to learn from someone else, then you need to work on that ego, because it's out of place in this time, in this moment. Ego doesn't belong to this point. 2020 is not the time for ego, because this is the moment for maturity, for the parents to come back and put on their pants and their pennies and stuff like this, and then be who they are. You see what I mean? And take control of themselves and their reality and stuff like this, and act and move as mature beings now. Children, you sit the fuck back and then let people do what they need to do, and then work together with parents, not against parents anymore. You see what I mean? This is the time now. You see, that's why we say the only problem is ourselves, because we realize as ego exists within us, because we couldn't tell ego unless we have ego within. That's why when people throw judgment at you, you have to realize that they're only seeing it from the mirror. Don't blame yourself and feel bad. Recognize that they are seeing it from the mirror, because who you are is not them. They can never know you, because obviously they can't even know themselves, and they are within themselves, and they can't even happen to fathom that. So how the fuck they gonna understand who you are? So far-fetched. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that you have to understand that they're only looking at the mirror, they are only seeing themselves. And then right then and there, once you have the spirit wisdom to tell ego this is what's happening, then ego will feel good in itself, and then ego will be like, oh yeah, okay then. You see what I mean? Because all you have to do is to give ego a bone, give the dog a bone. Ego don't ask for much. Ego just wanna be feeling like, yo, wanna show daddy that, yo, look, I'm mature daddy, look like me, look what I can do, look, I'm able to do this, look what I can do, I can run, look mommy, I can crawl, I can do this, I can do, that's all ego's doing. You see what I mean? So the thing is that you have to be able to be the father, the mother, for ego as a spirit within, to be like, okay, the baby, I see what you, wow, give it the little self-gratification it needs, a little push, the little, validation and whatever, a little love, like Will Smith would say, understanding and what else, you listening to them as they are telling you, look, watch, you look. Sometimes I'm busy, you see what I mean, and my daughter's trying to show me a dance and this and that or whatever, because they want to please you. They want to show you that, look, I'm learning things. Look what I can do and stuff like that. You have to give them the attention they need. So that's the L, the listen. The U is to understand that, okay, if they're making mistake and you have to be soft. I don't raise my daughter to be soft. I'd be the toughest on her because of whose daughter she is. Because of my path, I can't raise a little soft person, because who our father is, she's gonna have to take fill in those shoes or something like this. So I'm not doing her a service by raising her with soft. No, you see what I mean? That's why I be tough on her and stuff like this. But at the same time, I'm still with understanding. I understand that she's made a mistake, but to her, she thinks I don't understand. Oh, I'm just young. She thinks I don't get it. But I get it. I know, baby, that you did. But at the same time, I have to feed your heart to be strong. Because I can't throw you to the wolves out there and then with a softy heart and stuff like. No, you have to start being strong from your dad. I don't care if you come back at me disrespectful, this, that. At the end of the day, you're going to regret it anyway. I'm not. Because I know what I was doing. You didn't. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like whatever, I don't mind being the enemy to her for a moment. Because at the end of the day, she's not gonna always be the little monkey that, you know me, that's thinking that I'm out to get her or something like that. You see what I'm saying? Because she's gonna become a mother herself. You see what I'm saying? So I just do my job, do what I gotta do, or something like this. But it's tough on her because of whose daughter she is. You see what I mean? So that's what we have to understand as we are raising our children. We understand ourselves, and then we know we have a job to do in the reality or something like this, and then making sure that we just raise our children not to be soft and hide them. Oh, I'm gonna homeschool my children because this, and I know all that is solution. That's why we don't force anyone to do what we do, because we understand every path is different, because every path is attached to the level of consciousness. So of course, for some people, they can only handle homeschooling that's the best they can do for themselves and whatever. And some are not afraid to throw their children to the wolves because they need the children to learn. Because why do I do? Because many of us who become masters today are the ones that went to the public school, that went through it all, through the hell of public school, right? And stuff like this. And then that's why they are able, though they are damaged, like they say, damaged goods, like they call themselves. I don't say it, they say it. But really, damage is only in their mind. But they already made it out. That I said that you should be rejoicing at the moment. You made it. Many make it due to association, but you made it due to who you are. No mother, no father was there to tell you how, but you made it. You see what I mean? So you should give yourself a treat for that. And that treat is to validate your worth and know that you made it out, like, and love yourself for it. And you see what I'm saying? Or something like this. You see what I mean? But the thing is that I'm not your master. I cannot tell you what to do. You see what I mean? The thing is that somehow it's just on this level, like I say. You see what I mean? Ego doesn't have its place here. You see what I mean? Ego doesn't hold space at all. Ego, the only reason we're not running faster than we could or something like this, because trust me, my words is enough to wall around this reality and crush everything in its path that is trying to stop it or something like this. When I say my words, it's not mine because the words existed before I or something like that. But you know, since your ego is here, I have to explain myself. So the thing is, like, basically what I mean by that is, when I say my words, it's that because they are based on the absolute truth. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean. And whoever is speaking the absolute truth, regardless of how they feel about it, and even if it speaks against their own ego level at the moment, but they speak it anyway, I'm speaking to all of them. I mean, it's their words and their words as well. You see what I'm saying? So, but I can only speak for myself. Because the problem with the ego is that if I come and say my words, you would say, oh, that's not your words. Who are you trying to take credit for them and stuff like that, whatever. But if I listen to the ego and validate what ego say and say, you know what I'm saying, and then I come with a mistake and then I say, okay, we all make mistakes. Speak for yourself, sir. But how could you want me to speak for myself? But when I speak for myself, if it doesn't feel good to you, you want me to speak for all of us. But when I speak for all of us, if it doesn't feel good, you want me to speak for... I mean, you have to choose. You see what I'm saying? Which one is it? You see what I mean? That's the thing with the ego. It's gonna cause a problem. That's why we say you cannot be here. And that's why every decision I make, and that's what we have to be right now. Every decision I've made for the past decades and stuff like this led to today, like Tilson would say. You see, I mean, everything is a set of action and sets of decisions. And if someone doesn't change the behavior, it means that's is deciding. is not making mistake. It's a decision. Whether it's a good decision or bad, it's a decision. But good or bad is an aspect of what? It's a matter of perspective. From now, we should know that by now. So the thing is that basically I decided to take everything I do to start a business, do this and entertain that, working with dogs, doing that. Because everything is based on the multifaceted, reality that I live on and the different levels of consciousness that I'm dealing with. You see what I mean? So I have to put myself on a position where I can help either so I don't cause a problem for myself. You see what I mean? As the one coming through or something like this, as a mother or father. You see what I mean? Because if we keep coming, treating all the children the same, some of them may be strong and they can take it, some of them may be soft, they can take it in our homes, and then we just come in on the level of our favoritism and then completely neglect the other one that we don't favor because of their weaknesses and stupidity and stuff like this. Then we're not doing anything good for ourselves, because now that child is gonna kind of have some sort of resentment against us as the parents, if you catch my drift. You see what I'm saying? So it's hard for me to speak without saying too much because ego is still here. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, but ego is out of its place. But since it's here, we cannot worry about talking bad about it, except that we have to accept that it's here and then speak to a way that we can speak directly and with full respect to ego. But the way we do it is how? When you are master, when you are God, the reason that a God is supposed to be someone that act like Elita Melamin, shout out to Elita Melamin, and also Elita Melamin with Sister Shanadine just opened a new YouTube channel and stuff like this, speaking on the Breatharian lifestyle. So, subscribe, because they are sharing their journey as they go, and the more you are non-dependent on the reality, the less control anyone can have over you. And this is why Elita Melamin is laughing at everyone right now, because nobody can control him. I'm jealous, Elita. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, basically, you see, you cannot worry. He doesn't worry about having this big house to show off to other egos, whatever. The whole world is his room. If you feel like you have a little bit of acres, imagine him having, if your ceiling is this amount of like 10 feet high, imagine him having the sky or beyond the sky as his limit. You see what I mean? You have to start thinking bigger than your little ego corners and stuff like that. You see what I mean? Because we are the one creating the poverty on the planet or something like this. That's what we are saying to people. You see what I mean? It's a mindset, you see? So the thing is like the mindset of the ego or something like this. So when we come with this understanding, if I run with my pocket trying to be a millionaire like the lower selves that we're supposed to be helping, and that's supposed to work for us as the leaders and stuff like this, because every money they make, that's why the reality is created that way, because the billionaires and the millionaires are supposed to serve the mind. That's why the most of the energy goes towards the brain, right, in the body. Yet the fingers, the toes, they may put more work than the brain, but the brain itself is the one that's gonna multiply or put the stuff to work properly towards moving forward or something like this. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. It's not a thing of I'm better or whatever. Everyone choose to work on the level. Some of us already had enough fun, so we now come to work hard, and as we work hard, we put much energy towards saving money and making money, and because we already past life, we already had much fun already. So we come now to work and this and that or whatever. And some of us, already did that, and then now we come for a different. We came to be the brain, which is gonna take most of the energy, because more energy goes to there, because most of the work goes there, even if it doesn't lift the bricks, as the monkeys always want every part of the body to be lifting the brick, the tongue to be lifting brick, the nose to be lifting bricks, the eyes to be lifting bricks. As they are lifting bricks, they're not seeing. As the nose is lifting brick, is not smelling. As the tongue is lifting brick, is not speaking. You have to understand what we are doing. You see what I'm saying? What's going on? You see what I mean? How the reality works. You see what I mean? I know your ego is trying to validate itself and come with. But spirit is not that stupid. Spirit is the mother. You see what I mean in the equation. I know we are in a reality where mothers now needs to sit down in front of their children to learn, but that's only in the fake matrix, not in the reality. You see, not in the organic. You see what I mean? We have to understand that they're not the same. You see what I'm saying? You see. So the thing is like basically it's just that every position I put myself is literally I become the test. Because if I'm gonna be someone with a purpose, and meaning I'm gonna start a corporation, then I have to have enough mindset to understand who I'm gonna hire. You see, I'm speaking in quotes, meaning every ego that's gonna come to work with me, voluntarily or involuntarily, willingly or unwillingly, because everything we are together in this, we all gonna work together. So the thing is that basically, I have to be the one to hold the understanding, to validate who can be closer to me and who cannot be closer to me, who can hold such position, who cannot hold such position or something like that. And the best I can do that is not by showing off to poor people how rich I am, but it's to be like the show that you saw on TV where the CEO of the companies come and pretend to be one of the employees just so they can live among the employees and see what's going on in reality. Because most of the time the CEOs, though they are doing this from ego, it happens by mistake, but really spirit is gonna come and find a way anyway at the end of the day. Because there is a mistake, because the CEOs are all around the world fucking every beautiful models out there, living every beautiful beach, like showing off and doing their things to their little friends or whatever. You see what I mean? At the same time, the company is run by the college student who don't give a fuck about the company because they are in it for their pockets too, and the CEO is in it for the show off, and the company is just there making money on the autopilot, and then the world is going down in chaos because of nobody's giving a fuck and stuff like this. You see what I mean? So at the end of the day, something gotta give. You see what I mean? And then now you can cash in also. And the CEOs, they may not give a fuck because they know the money is gonna come anyway, but they want to be seen, they want to be famous. So now there's a show now. Okay, you come as this, whatever, but they didn't wanna go. They're not just gonna go and be, not all of them may have the power, mental power to go down and act like an employee, whatever. But if you make it as beautiful to the ego as possible, ego is gonna come in. Let's make it about fame now. Let's make it like something national TV. And then every ego is gonna sign up. You see what I mean? That's why you see every CEO come in and agree to do it. Because now there's fame in it now for them, for the ego. You see what I mean? You see how it works? As you're seeing it for entertainment, I'm seeing it as reality, the way it works. You see what I mean? So that's why we have to level up to understand things to that degree. You see what I'm saying? So when I take a position, I know many of my loved ones, they want to see me doing certain things. They want to see me in the 5-star hotels and doing all this showing off things and stuff like this or whatever. But I know life is not about showing off because I'm raised from Haiti, part of the Americas and stuff like this. That where my parents always tell me, faire pas durer. So those things, I never take them softly. They are part of who I am. They are the foundation of my being. I never believe in showing off. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that basically I recognize that, okay, I feel you, whatever. My ego wants to do what you're saying too, but I have to focus on something bigger than that. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is that basically I have to take position like the CEOs take position where they are among the workers that work for them and stuff like this, because mind over matter all the time. If the best you have to offer is the billions, that's matter. Who do you think is over that matter? The minds. That's why the best among us say what? The ones with the mind run the world, where the ones with the mind who can bring the dollars carry the burden. That's just, it's not a wrong or right, it's just the way it works. You see what I'm saying? But of course, you have to know your place. You see what I mean? So the thing is like basically, I have to be, now to understand if ego is still among me, I'm not gonna pretend to be a millionaire like every ego. I'm gonna be the smallest part of us, so that only if you can see beyond your two eyes, then you can see value beyond that. You see what I mean? Because if you cannot see value beyond your two eyes, beyond the dollar, then I don't need you around me. I need you around, but not around me. You see what I mean? Not because I'm bigger than you, but because you cannot serve yourself or me if you're too close to me, because you're not gonna be able to see what to look to know what you're looking at, or to understand what you are hearing. You see what I mean? It's not about, okay, oh, I'm better. It's not about that. That's why action is not but the intention. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. I have to move in a way to not to be told who I need, but to see for myself. Because I can only rely for my own two eyes. You see what I'm saying? So that's why every decision, you see, I feel you, I know, I love you as you love me. I want to be there with you and enjoy the swimming pool with you, but I do it in my own time and my own way until you are able to vibrate to that level. Then we can enjoy in the same space. Because unlike the monkeys, I'm not seeing you the same way they are. I'm not seeing you based on the materials and things like this. I'm seeing you from the value that you hold within your own spirit. You see what I'm saying? And I cannot pretend to know unless I allow you to speak to me and let me know where you at. You see what I mean? And I cannot validate what you say to me unless I put myself in the position to test what you are saying. You see what I mean? That's maturity. Nothing happens without understanding. You have to know what you are doing. You have to see from every eye that exists. You have to smell from every nose. You have to speak from every mouth. You have to love from every heart. You see what I mean? That's just the way it is. All is self. And that's being that. You see what I mean? Not saying it, but that's being it. And this is why I take the positions that I make. You see, I mean, I make the decisions that I make. But most of the time, when you come and give your understanding of your actions, you are not helping more. But really, when ego comes, then we cannot help but hurting ourselves at times. But so much, that's why the wings comes about. The bird doesn't depend on the strength of the branch, but it depends on its own ability to fly. So meaning, I'm not supposed to come at you telling you what I'm telling you right now, but knowing that ego is among us, then the only way I can level up with that ego is to explain to ego, just like I would with a child, so that they can give me trust and understand to work with me, regardless of how they are seeing me or understanding me or something like this. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. But I'm not stupid enough to just, like the Qigong master or the martial art master that will give every move, to the student, and whatever, trusting the student is gonna do the right thing with it. You see what I mean? But when the ego is among us, then we can help but getting hurt. Because like all the masters are saying out there, is, you see, ego is the source of suffering. You see what I'm saying? You see, like Samael on VR, and Muji and Sadhguru and the great philosophers like Manly P. Hall and my favorite Alan Watts and stuff like this. You see what I mean? All of them, they try to say it in a way you don't mean to show you the reality. The ego, tame that ego, kill that ego. They laugh when they speak about ego because they can't help but seeing it from a mirror. They know they learn from their own mistakes. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. But by all means, I chose the solution because I don't need any ego coming acting big and then knowing that in reality they're not. And then because when you act big, you know what you do to yourself. You cause the universe to send you big tests. I'm not trying to go get Cold Mother to test me with big tests when I'm not ready for it. I keep you far away from me with that nonsense. Because I don't want to act big, because I know I'm not big, so I don't need no big tests coming my way. So I'm going to act as small as possible because I'm not ready to handle no big tests. You see what I mean? Stay away from me with that. You see what I mean? Because as we are, we cause. You see what I mean? So that's why every time we are saying, oh, we are gods, we don't know what we are asking for. Because gods, you know what that means. You don't need help. You are everything. You don't need the Federal Reserve notes to create anything. As how you God, and then you're saying, okay, well, God needs money to work with. No, there's no such thing. God's created out of nothing. The value gotta be within you. You see what I mean? So that's why be careful what you are saying. But when we say these things, it's because we want to show you the value within you and things like this. But at the same time, we're not trying to give your ego something you cannot understand, something is gonna take because it feels good and it make it look good and run with it and cause chaos further than what is already causing, and further creating further hell for us to survive again, or something like that. You see what I mean? So I'm not gonna say too much today or something like this. The best I'm gonna say is that the brother didn't come. I hope he's still alive or something like this. I hope all is well, because I know you're on an island, Ronald, and things are very shaky on the island. You are literally in the middle of the ocean or something like this. Beauty comes with its price. You see what I mean? I know you guys are living paradise, always teasing me, showing me off the beauty of your surrounding while I'm in the concrete jungle or something like that. You see what I mean? But I can rely on the stability of that concrete jungle, as you cannot rely on the stability of the ocean at the moment. Everything comes with an up and down side. So I'm not the one to just always wanna feel things, whatever. I'm not that curious, really. You see what I mean? But I do mean to come and share with you, break bread with you, and then come and answer to that invitation and come enjoy the island with you at time. You see what I mean? But until, at the right time when it's possible. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, basically it's just the brother was supposed to be with us. I wanna excuse on behalf of the brother. You see that we don't wanna say that he's not a man of his words. You see, because since we are men of our words, so we wanna believe that we all are. So the thing is, like, but we know shit happens. You see what I mean? So we only wanna focus on the positive, and then expecting that it's only like shit happens, because yesterday was his daughter's birthday. Happy birthday to the princess. You see what I mean? And maybe the birthday, I don't know what happens. Maybe he had too much fun, overslept or whatever. You see what I mean? And we fathers, we have work to do, but also we have children to raise and to love as well. So we cannot hold people accountable for everything they do. We just have to move with understanding and compassion and understand, because that's why many people, at times, you see, when they are tested dealing with me, that's why it's not easy to deal with me, because you're gonna get tested, whether I'm testing you or you testing yourself. You see what I mean? So it's gonna happen somehow. So you see what I mean? So the thing is, like, they're gonna show how punctual they are themselves and how they never fuck with their time and whatever, this and that. But in reality, the world is just showing you a lesson. Because right then and there, we're gonna also send back the mirror to you to realize that look, the same thing you were saying you wanted to sacrifice others for, you are doing it to someone else. So is that gonna cause you to be compassionate and understanding towards one another, or are you gonna continue to be that rock without a heart and be that type of person? You see what I mean? But when you come around me, you're gonna learn some way, somehow, or something like this. You see what I mean? Like, if either I learn from you or you learn from me. But we have to be the living library. We have to be the living test, because like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will say, He doesn't fix the people except with their own selves, or He doesn't test the people except with themselves. You see what I mean? That's why He also say that, I do not change a people unless they are willing to change themselves. It's all about self. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. Because if we cannot, be strong enough to be among the will, then we have to see that as a disease, pointing the pain. You have to use that pain that heart is having. I love this person, but I don't seem to be able to be around him. But the best I can do is to say that he's the problem, but not me, or something like this, so that I can remain who I am and on the level that I am, because I'm comfortable there, or something like this. But at the same time, we want to grow. You see what I mean? Because where you are is gonna disappear, because it's an illusion, except that you have to be ahead of that anyway, and go beyond it. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, basically, it's just that we have to allow ourselves to be among the will, because we're always asking to live. Oh, I don't like fake people. We say it all the time. So, and the universe respond to that and give you the will. But if you're not will, you're not gonna be able to like what you see, because most of the time we don't like we don't know what we're asking for, and when we get it, then we're not able to maintain it. We're not able to. That's why success is easy. That a lot of monkeys, happy like, oh, I'm gonna be successful. A lot of monkey, oh, I'm successful, whatever. But now keeping that success, that's where it's at. You see what I mean? It's like literally trying to hold water or trying to hold a lit charcoal or something like this. You see what I mean? And I'm saying these things because so that because you can relate, you can feel what I'm saying, because it's heart to heart. You see what I mean? Hearts bring it as it feels, with to the heart speaking, not as it read or heard or something. That's why it's so powerful. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. The best we can do is to put on your pants and tighten your belts and your seat belts, and then let's do this thing. You see what I mean? Like, take off the pennies if it doesn't belong, and if you're a woman with pennies as well, sometimes you have to take pennies off and allow your pussy to breathe. Forgive my French. You see what I'm saying? Or something like that. You see? So we just gotta feel comfortable with ourselves at times. You see, that's why I tame myself when I see people naked. You see, like the new sister whom I enjoy her music, showed her ass recently. You see what I mean? Sometimes it's who's doing it and what's the intention. Is it to please the ego? Is there something spiritual? That's why sometimes you may see someone being naked, like a woman like what's her name? How could I forget the goddess name? But I could never forget her energy. The one that I see, you better call on Tyrone. When she's naked, nobody's uncomfortable with that except someone's pretending. You see what I mean? Because it's a goddess. You see, it's the energy. It's the mother. You see what I mean? We're not worried about seeing our mothers naked or something. You see what I mean? The energy is coming. But with someone else, if it's ego of the female coming naked because it's want to please its own ego, then it's a different thing. But I tame my mouth from giving my opinion. Oh, what do you feel? Oh, that's her body. She want to feel naked. She want to show her ass. That's her body. The best we can do is to elevate that ego so that next time she gets naked, it's not coming from her ego. It's coming from her mother instinct, from her mother's spirit. It's not going to come to flex. It's going to come to teach a lesson. It's not going to... You see what I mean? It's not about the action. It's about who's doing it. But we don't want to keep speaking. You see what I mean? It's the intention. So we have a lot to learn, obviously, because the ego is still among us. But the thing is that, and myself included, of course, and I'm only saying that because I know I learn a lot every day. So the thing is, like, what it is just that we want to make sure that you understand as well that, we know what we're doing, and you can hide from yourself. And we understand the reality more than you can even understand, or something like that. And the thing is, like, but we keep seeing too much ego. Like, you see what I mean? That's the thing. Like, you see what I mean? Sometimes you have to copy us as we copy you. Because we tame our ego, we come and sit at the feet of Sadhguru. We come and sit at the feet of Mooji. Because we are taming ourselves. We know people is going to misjudge us for that. Oh, how could you say you know when you are sitting and learning from people? No, it's not about, you have to live by example. If you want people to come and sit at your feet, you have to be the first to sit at someone else's feet. You see what I mean? So that's the way it works. That's the only way you can appeal to a master's ego. You see, you have to first show that your ego is in check first. You see what I mean? Or something like that. But you can never tell, especially when you can't understand who you're looking at or what you're listening to or whatever. You see what I mean? Because it takes one to know one. You see what I mean? Or something like this. We have to be compassionate and get it. You see? So now we see that the ego is beyond its time and it's beyond its level. It doesn't. This is adult speaking right here, or something like that. So the thing is like, but the children are amongst us. But who's to say that they can understand? You see what I mean? So this is why I have to talk so much, because we depend on our children, because the children are the future, and we're speaking in code. Of course, we change the language. So the thing is like, so we have to literally somehow, allow them to be among us, not be those parents who say, go over there. You see what I mean? And let them be, because we understand it's not the level, like especially when it comes to the sexual powers, which is the highest Among Us or something like this. You see what I mean? So, oh, they're not able to understand this. But sex is all around them now. You have to go with the time. You see what I mean? In the billboard, they're getting fucked in the head every day by looking at the billboard, listen to certain music with sexual subliminal messages. They are getting fucked and molested every day on all aspects of life. So you have to understand that and go with the time and go with the reality. Don't be that dog that keeps pulling back and then choke itself. You have to go with the flow. You see what I mean? That going with the flow is not wrong, but how much you are going with the flow? Is it going with the flow blindly, or are you going with the flow because you depend on your own boat being able to go with the flow? Or being that bird, not because you depending on the ocean or whatever, but on the ability of the ability of your ship, or the strength of your wings to fly and stuff like. You see what I mean? We're speaking in codes so that we can say more with less time or something like that. You see? So we say shout out to brother Shane D and stuff like, Shane Lee or something like this. Who was supposed to be here. We hope we deliver for the both of us, because he was supposed to be the co-pilot, and that was the chance for us for the decade or the year or the day or the month or whatever, the week, to get together. But for some reason we cannot always think negative. Things happen for a reason. Maybe if the brother was there, maybe he couldn't bring the proper questions. You see what I mean? That could allow me to say what I'm saying right now. But the fact that I'm only by myself and with the energy that are powerful as Ronald, Jean-Pierre, with us and others that we may not be able to see and stuff like this. So the thing is like, whatever it is just somehow, you see, everything happens because it's not about the numbers, it's not about seeing, it's not about pleasing self or being famous or whatever it is the fuck the monkeys think of or something like this, but they're only seeing the reality from their own lenses. The best they can do not to change seeing the reality from their own lenses, because that's the only way I'm able to survive, is to being able to depend on my own. But at the same time, I have to understand too, when I look at other people, I'm not looking at them, I'm only mirroring what's within myself. So the only way I can understand them is by take the question that myself raised and seek the answers from them. And then now the answers that I get from them, I'm able to weigh it with my own perspective, and then thereby causing the higher truth which surpass their answer and my answer, and then bring the proper answer about. You see what I mean? So that's maturity, and this is what we say. And we hope many people can listen to what we say. We hope many people can learn from us the same degree that we learn from them. And we hope they gather the strength in character and self-esteem that we have gathered to literally come whatever and then have a conversation. And this is why in the beginning we made it easy today. We say we don't come here to teach, we come to have a conversation. We say these things, it's not because we don't need to learn. Of course we don't need to learn. You see what I mean? At all time. Especially if children are among us. You see, the children need to learn, of course. You see, because within the child is the master, is the mature parents, because they're gonna become parents themselves. We said it already. You see, but we can't help but repeating ourselves all the time. You see what I mean? But the thing is that we hope you get the message, and we hope it came out as clear as possible. We use the best. MacBook is very expensive. We use Rode mic. We upgraded our systems. We upgraded everything from our own packets with no help from anyone. Following Sevan Boma. Shout out to Sevan Boma and Secret Energy, who's doing tremendous work. I can't start telling you how much work this tribe is doing out there, and I myself is one of them or something like this, you know, from afar, but working closely to a degree that they may not even understand or even know, or something like this. But it's not about knowing and showing them what we do, because we don't depend on them for reward. We depend on Great Mother, who's our both of us mothers and stuff like that. So we just do as we see fit. You see what I mean? But the brothers and sisters over there, shout out to Sister Daisy Wegerby, shout out to Wendy, shout out to Sharon, shout out to the great photographers or the main one, Sean, brother Jacob, and the great brother who's having which is the blissful living and stuff like this. The names are many. We can't always remember. That's why we don't go by names and by appearance at all. Forgive me if I don't remember names. Or we best believe the heart always remember the energies, because it's not seen from the physical. It's seen from what is not, what is and what is not, and also cannot be fooled or something like that. You see what I mean? So we have to depend on that. So forgive me if I don't depend on the names, because through the names we are slaves anyway. So don't always hold someone back accountable for that. So long as they can smile and love, with their energy. So the more, because even in dreams, when we see someone, like last night, I had a dream with the brother, what's his name, Robin something, a great motivational speaker. You see, Robin, tall, 7 foot tall brother. I had a whole night hanging out with him last night or something like this. Shout out to brother Robin. I forgot the full name. I promised myself I'm gonna remember the full name today. But we traveled to Haiti, and for some reason he said he's a friend of my father who studied in Europe or something like this, in university in Europe. I believe was it France or something like this. You see what I mean? And my father's brother, my father studied law in Europe. And his brother studied communication and stuff like this, and he's a great radio host, renowned in Miami and stuff like this. I don't speak about these people because I'm not about showing off. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is somehow that's why he told me that, I'm a friend of your father, whatever. He didn't say it to me. I asked him because of when he took me to Haiti or something. We were here. And then how the dream world works. And then next thing you know, I'm feeling certain things, because it's all about the feeling. You see what I mean? So I feel the energy, and the mind is processing and projecting his image. And then from the mind image, the smile, and I always remember Brother Robin's smile. He always have that big smile, that tall, big, giant brother. So the thing is and then he said to me, I don't know if he studied in Europe. You see what I mean? And then he said to me, it's not the language that we're speaking right now. It's telepathy and stuff like this. But you catch my drift. So the thing is as he's smiling with that big smile, and I'm smiling with this big smile, and we're communicating from heart to heart. And then with what I'm deciphering, he said he brought me to Haiti, where I was raised, and when my father lived or something like that. So and then I was like, what? My father? And then his big smile come again. You see what I'm saying? And then from what I got, it's and then I said maybe they studied together when I woke up today. But I wake up meditating on the dream so that I can decipher it or something like this. So I don't know. I hope if ever the brother would ever come. If I remember the full name, then I could say it, and the algorithm will cause him to come to the live, and maybe he would say, yeah, I studied in Europe, and then bring validation to that or something like that. You see what I mean? So the thing, but I don't remember the full name for some reason. The name is in my mind, but the smileys and the spirit, the way I felt about him, good feeling, he's a good brother indeed. So what it is, but that's what it was. You know what I mean? And many of you probably heard of Robin, because everybody is one of the greatest motivational speakers out there and stuff like this. And he's a great brother. I love him dearly. And if I didn't trust that love at first, but after last night, so long, we spent so much time yesterday and traveled so much around the world, then we just, now trust that he really has a big heart, as big as his smile or something like that. So shout out to the brother Robin or something like that. You see what I mean? So I forgot why I took that route, why I take this example, but until next time. You see, the thing is basically what it is, as you can see, the platform is having a new a new face or something like that. Because as always, we are perfectionists, and we are dealing with perfect egos who always expect the best from us or something like this, and we always expect the best from everyone as well. But though we expect the best, but we don't always just value one side of ourselves. It doesn't matter if something looks ugly, but we're still able to look beyond the physical and then go within the message and then sit and listen anyway. But the monkey cannot do that or something like this. You see? So that's why we have to make sure that we deliver as best as possible. The way it looks, the way it sounds, what we say, how we say it, everything is come out clearly. But of course, we cannot, please the ego, because ego cannot even please itself. You see what I'm saying? But we cannot help but do our best. So the thing is that we changed the platform, and as you can see, this is beta testing today. And we meant to be on YouTube because, though we love Facebook, we'll always work with Facebook. And Facebook is a platform we cherish. We love working with Facebook. And we know Facebook already give us more than help than little miserable dollars and stuff like this. Like we say, because YouTube give the dollars to the content creators, because they understand also beyond, even if the content creators, they are the money, but they understand that they don't know that, so therefore you can only please them by giving them some monetary gain. But in reality, YouTube already paid back, because giving you the platform to express your views of the world, to express your uniqueness to the world that is so needed and stuff like this. Of course, YouTube already paid out its dues. You see what I mean? But there's more to it than just spiritual. You see what I mean? So YouTube is trying to do on all levels. So we hope Facebook follow YouTube examples as well, and then do the best work, and then so that the platforms can continue, because we love them, and we're not about to be hypocrites and be like, or whatever. No, nothing is perfect. No one is perfect. So long as we can benefit from what you create, and we can the whole world can benefit from what you create, then we're gonna go with that and still give you respect and still big up the platform and work with you or something like this. But the worst we can do is to expect that there's no room for improvement. There's always room for improvement. You see what I mean? So that's why we hope, and we always expect that you're not stupid, because we always see great maturity from people like this and stuff like this, because they open up to criticism. They always ask, they beg for you to give your feedback. They even pay for your feedback. That's because they want to make sure that they are using your eyes, because your eyes may see something that their eyes may not see from where they are in their mansions and things like this, remotely away from the cities. You see what I'm saying? So they are smart, so we have to learn from them and stuff like this. So the only stupidity I see mostly, I see stupidity everywhere in myself as it is outside of myself. But the difference between us and you is that maybe as I'm open to learn and open to put on pants and allow you to tell me where I'm wrong, then you may not be willing to do the same. That's the only difference between you and I, but we both make mistakes. You see what I mean? So the thing is like, basically, the mistakes I see is that, you see, we're not open for improvement. We think we're perfect. There's no need for tuning in or improvement or something. That's retardedness from the get-go. Everyone from the higher ups, from the unique, from the 1% can see that stupidity from afar. They can smell that stink from afar. You see what I mean? Like myself, part of the 1%. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like, basically, we just gotta see it that way. You see what I mean? Be open for improvement. Be open to criticism. Like brother Polite say, shout out to Polite, who's doing great work as well. You see what I mean? Sometimes I may not agree with certain things, and this is why I love him, and I hope he learned from his own words. Because he always say that, you see, I mean, the man, and I'm using his words today and thank him for that. The man, you know, when he comes with them with the full truth and taking their man that's gonna take it or something like this, and then you find out they're a bunch of little bitches not able to take it, and then they come back responding with emotions and stuff like this. You see what I mean? And these are the words of Polite, not mine. If you're gonna just lash out, go to Polite. I'm just men enough to learn from him, and then we regurgitate his own words. So shout out to Polite out there. You see what I mean? Doing great thing, doing his thing. I've learned so much from this brother as well. So we all have something unique to contribute, and this is why, if though I'm part of the 1%, I may not agree with the 1% 100%. And the reason I'm happy to be part of the 1% is that I see the difference between the 1% is that they are more willing to listen and learn from everyone and everything more than anyone that has something to offer. That say they have something to offer, they are already ears to listen. But if you have nothing to offer, to them they think, okay, they have to destroy you, like 89% of the population must go. That's their solution. But I'm not with that solution 100%. I'm with it 30%. 70% I think we can do better. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because I recognize that the sperm journey, you see what I mean, is a very great journey. Just because it's within you, and the egg, you know, from your perspective as someone outside of the egg, you're seeing the egg and you're seeing the sperm. To you, it looks like it's a short journey. But within, with the journey is within, it's a whole different perspective. That's why the best way to see it is not to see it from a different, like, okay, this one is different from the other, but to see that as it is within, so it is without. When the stars are traveling in the cosmos, if you cannot even fathom the distance with your numbers in your head, then how can you be retarded enough to think you can calculate the distance between the egg and the sperm as he has to travel to it? So the thing is that basically, when you can understand the travel of the sperm cells towards that egg from a higher perspective, and understand how hard that travel is, then you will be able to see for everyone who made it, in reality, is a winner indeed. Not because they gather as much Federal Reserve note, but just by being here alone. You see what I'm saying? So every one of them who made it here out of the billion cells that travel to that egg, show that there are uniqueness that comes with a solution of the problem that is on the planet. Because everyone that made it here were part of the problem from the get-go. So they came back to be that solution. But if we don't create an environment for these children to be the solution, then we're only going to create more and more of the problem. Because the children can only be a mirror to their environment. And you know that better than I. So thank you for listening. And the platform is beautiful. And we are trying to do our best to please your little egos with it and stuff like this. Our little egos, as my ego is pleased all the time or something like that. You see what I mean? And if ego's not pleased, so I go with the substance, you see. But that's why you have to learn from one another and stuff like this. You see what I mean? So now, by now, I hope you can tell that I'm no dummy. I'm no stupid monkey. I know you can only see value from the amount of dollars or something like this. But until you can see value from substance, the substance of the spirit, not from what it gathers in the illusion and stuff like this. Until then, I'll await you in the future so that we can work together and stuff like this, patiently and compassionately and stuff like this as much as I can. You see what I mean? Because sometimes it's not that I'm not able to be compassionate, but you are so loud in your ignorance and stuff like this that, you know, like Christ does, sometimes we can help but flipping the tables. And like Musa or Moses did, we can help but punching the teeth out of your mouth sometimes. It's not our fault. It's that, you know, we have to, you force us to. Not out of hate, but to punch sense out of your thick skulls. So thank you for coming. And thank you for those we may be able to see. Because as you can see, when we come raw without the platform, the full studio and stuff like this, it's easier, you know, I mean, for people to come in and listen, and we can interact and we see who's there. We can thank everyone by their names and whatever it is. And those who want to be anonymous or something like this, we will also give them that respect. You see what I mean? Or something like this, or otherwise listen to the afterplay. But you never can, when you miss the live, it's not the same as the replay. You see what I mean? But the thing is, like, basically, because heart to heart is different from regurgitation or recording or something like that. That's what I mean. You see what I mean? So the thing is, like, we are trying, doing our best, and I hope you can see the power in words, because many of you don't see no power except in the paper. So I know where I'm one of you. I am of the same programming, except that I'm able to see beyond it. Until you can, then you can't always gonna pose a threat to yourself and your reality. But so far, I hope you can see the power of words and the power of the heart speaking its own truth, and the heart of spirit allowing to speak without having to, use any, egoistic or things attached to it or whatever coming raw or something. And because the more we do that, and then the more you're gonna see the effects in the reality, and then people's gonna enjoy more and more. And I hope you are not as dead as possible to not feel the changes and the beauty, and at least if you cannot see it in your heart and feelings and guts, they're not healthy enough to feel. At least study from the books and look at the stars outside of you and see the movement of the planets, and then understand why they are in the positions as they are, because as it is within, so it is without. So there's no failing anything, except we can only fail ourselves. Now, besides changing, as you mature and the time change, everything changes with time. We keep the wisdom of the old, and then change the codings at time. Of course, we're not seeking to reinvent the wheel, but of course we can always maintain it, and do some maintenance, and grease it and do certain things. You see what I mean? And upgrade the softwares or whatever. You see what I mean? So we change one thing. We say, instead of saying by a lack of knowledge they perish, now we want to say, since it's the age of knowledge, and as the gods that we are and goddesses, we have to be ahead of time, because time is within us. It doesn't control us as we think. So the thing is that we have to be ahead of it, otherwise it does control you. You become slave to it unless you are ahead of it. So the thing is that we have to say, if it's when it was age of darkness, Piscean age, it was because by the lack of knowledge they perish. But now it is the Aquarian age, where knowledge is rampant, knowledge is open and stuff like this. So we have to change the narratives. So instead we're gonna say, by lack of wisdom they perish, because knowledge is all around us. If we don't do that, then we're gonna cause quick confusion. You see what I'm saying? And then also we could change something else by saying, but I forgot it. Maybe next time you get it, because one is enough for the time. You see what I mean? So we have to change the literature, change the coding as we go. Not for pleasing ego and to say we did something right, but just as you see fit, as spirit see fit. You see what I mean? Our great mother is in agreement and is in alignment. You see what I mean? It's because we're not working against great mother, we are working with her. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. Okay? So thank you for that. And that's why we say it's not about the numbers or something. All that is changing the codings. The value is not in what you have, it's in you. It was always the truth, but now we're saying it more, because those are the codes that run the platform today. You see what I mean? I know you're saying something different, something old, whatever, because you want to reinvent the wheel. But we're not reinventing the wheel, except that we are, giving it maintenance. But only the pioneers among us can do that. Of course, if you don't see it in your spirit, the vision to do it, then don't do it. Because if you do it, if you say it because you heard it, then you may not be able to walk that walk. You see what I'm saying? So you get what I mean. And I know I may come a bit like a father, and father figures are made to be seen as a problem in the homes, from your programming and stuff like this. As you know, the fathers were always kept outside, and people, the female and the male, you see what I mean, there's always an issue or whatever. But I ask that you tame your monkey minds, and you just allow the truth to come through, regardless of how you feel about the father figure speech or something like that. But at time we need it, you see what I mean, and stuff like this. So all of us, like I was saying, the point I was making is that the sperms, every single reason I take 70% over 30%, I'm 70% with the 99%, and 30% with the 1% when it comes to the issue of killing the population, because of scientific fact. And the scientific fact is, like I said, the sperms every sperm that win are the ones that they had the best shape to travel through space. They are obviously the best technologies to travel and the best minds to do things. So that's why they're winners. Nobody win by chance. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is like basically if the sperm cell win and you become a crackhead, in reality it's because of the environment that we create for them as the parents that are here creating it for them. So we cannot blame crackheads and say we're gonna kill everyone, blame the rapists, blame this, blame that, except that we create the environment and this is what we reap what we sow. So the best we can do is not to kill the energies, because that will be retarded thinking, because you cannot kill energies except that it's gonna multiply. The best thing you can do is to be an alchemist and be real with yourself and reinvent the reality, reinvent your thinking, reinvent everything, and so that we can create a better atmosphere for the new spirits coming into hell, so that we don't turn them into a bunch of monkeys and stupid, retarded monkeys. That's gonna create a problem for us. But we create the problem for ourselves in the get-go or something like this, because we cannot blame them without blaming ourselves. All is self. You see what I mean? So that's what it is. So as you can see, a lot needs to be said. We have a lot of work to do. Like you call on yourself godhood. So this is what it is to be a god. It is to be taking responsibility for your creation. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it is. So let's do it the way we are saying with the word, so that we can be what we say, walk the walk and stuff like this. Because all the time you tell me to walk the walk or do this, I learn from you a lot. So I hope the same strength it takes me to sit in front of you, regardless of what I think I know, I hope you gather the same balls and strength to learn from myself. As you can see that I'm not that stupid. All right? So thank you for listening, guys. This is now, instead of Vlad Show, this is the V Podcast or something like this. This is what we call it now. The V Podcast or something. Going with the time, because we don't want to be that dog that's fighting the leash and trying to hold back and then choke ourselves and then blame the leash or the one pulling the leash. So we have to see our job is not to pull back on the reality, except that we gotta go to the flow. At the same time, trusting our own wings to fly when shit goes to shit, and trusting our own boat and ship when water become too agitated, so that our ship is strong enough to withstand the shocks and stuff like this. All right, so always depend on your own self. Live, love, laugh, learn. Bobo. This is the V Podcast. One love, and we love you. It's the name may change, but this is the same energy. All right, we take everyone who came through, everyone who is now you act like you can understand what we mean by fortunate enough to have heard this live directly from the heart speaking. You see. And also those who are fortunate enough to come across that live, because once it's out there, it's not in our control. You see what I mean? So, if God loves you enough to bring you to real truth without any little dollar have anything to do with it, because we already spend the money for ourselves to bring it about. So not even expecting a dime back or something, except that we know in spirit there's nothing lost. So we either gonna own the spirit that we helped, or they make sure to pay their dues in this physical realm. You see what I mean? So, but if I own you in spirit because of the help I give you, or something like this, I'm a great master, because it's not ego or something like this. So I'll make sure to treat you with respect as it is due. All right, one love. We love you, and enjoy your weekend. And as we are enjoying ours, we love you. One love. Thank you for listening. This is your brother V, and the platform V Podcast. It should be everywhere. We are working and learning from everyone to know how to, speak to as many hearts as possible. Like we say, we don't believe in destroying the spirits, because when we destroy every spirit that win as winners already, but because of the reality and the environment we create as monkeys in the reality for them, and then we're blaming them for being who they are and stuff like this. Then as we destroy 89% of the spirit that came to help, that win the race in the womb, in the triple darkness of the womb, and then we destroy them, so do we destroy the solution, part of the solution that they brought about within their own DNA. So I need you to think like I am. Think with me. I know a lot of you don't like when I say, "Oh, why? How would you expect everyone to think like you?" Whatever. I know it's not a reality, but at the same time, it's not my job to belittle anyone. I can trust that that's the problem I have. I overestimate, but that's what that we have to accept there's weakness in this reality, but we can pick and choose what weaknesses we choose to validate and to express. So overestimation is one of the weaknesses I choose because, you know, like we say, we are the gods that created our reality. So we have to choose what is our weakness and what is our strength. That's all included in building the vessel and the ego and stuff like that. And this is what I chose. You see what I'm saying? Like overestimating my different selves. You see what I mean? Trusting that they have the same mental capacity and the same heart capacity and like I do and stuff. Like my job is not to belittle them or something like this. So you see what I mean? But they are themselves. They know their weaknesses better than I, and they know themselves better than I do. My job is not to just trust. I mean, to judge them, but to trust them and love them. So thank you for coming, wholeness, everyone. We love you. This is it. You see, there's a lot of you know, commercial breaks, this and that we were supposed to do and whatever it is and stuff like this. But because the brother was not there, we did not care. You know what I mean? We just flow freely or something. I can't even take credit for the words except that I'm just a channeler, really of the substantial truth or the highest truth or the universal truth. So whatever, we take the great mother universe, you see what I mean, for, you know, allowing me the capacity to have the heart capacity to allow that such powerful fire to go through me without burning me out or something like that. So but as you can see, we meant to do certain things like showing our faces, which we want to do before we go so we can say hi or something like that, and doing commercial breaks, having like a regular show or something like this. You see what I mean? You know what I mean? Like to show off or something, like our new platform or something like that. But the thing is, as you can see, it didn't happen because we were free flowing, because we didn't need to do all this showing off and stuff like this. So we are happy that it happens this way. And you know how it is. The monkey, when it's looking at videos, you see what I mean? That's why videos, you give videos unless you need to. Like you have a guest and whatever, this and that, like we were meant to, and stuff like this. But when there's no guest, there's no need for me to show face, because the monkey won't be able to surpass the mental monkey thing that's going on, the bouncing of the thoughts and stuff like this in the mind. The monkey self cannot go beyond that, except it's gonna want to judge everything. Look, the lighting is no good, or this is this. Oh, look, whatever. This is I don't like the color of the walls. I don't like this closet. I don't like. You see what I mean? That's just the way it's gonna be. So if we recognize the monkey inside of us, we have to work with it outside of us the proper way, so that we don't allow it to be a problem to our growth as a species or something like this, or as a reality or planet. You see what I mean? So thank you. I hope you understand why I didn't show myself like that. You see what I mean? But we wanna do a little. You see what I mean? Something. I know my mic just got disconnected, and everything just got to shit. The sound may be a bit different right now, but it's all good. You see what I mean? Because I'm moving around trying to see if I can, you know, show a little power of the platform. But, you know, the message was powerful enough. So thank you guys for coming. And we cannot leave without showing a commercial. At least one, you see what I mean? So if you feel free to leave, because there's nothing else to be said, except this is, you know, our due diligence to returning to those who support the platform. And this message was brought to you by none other than Black Stallion Apparel. You see what I mean? You know what I mean? So we will see you soon, as the universe permits. Wholeness.
All right, guys. This is Gracia Pia, sports and exercise medicine specialist, aka Black Stallion. Listen guys, when someone needs legal advice, they turn to an attorney. When they need help with their diet, they turn to a dietitian. When they need help with their finances, they go to a financial advisor. Elite athletes that need to know how to work out safely and learn about incorporating techniques when they get hurt, they come to the Black Stallion. Guys, I know you have questions, I have your answers. Let's join forces with me and let's get that lesson going. Let's go.
Supplying your ears.
Purchase your tracks today. Purchase your tracks today.
Contraband. This is a contraband.